The legions advance in silence. No shouts, only the dry sound of iron against leather. An eagle standard cuts through the mist, and behind it emerges something no barbarian can comprehend. A perfect machine. It isn't luck, nor bravado. It's science, calculation, the marriage of metal and method. If Rome conquered half the world, it wasn't just through courage, it was because it reinvented war. Today, we'll open the arsenal that turned farmers into human walls and battlefields into laboratories. 7 inventions, 7 strokes of genius. The first pierced with no room for theatrical heroism. The second shattered shields before the first clash. The third turned men into walking fortresses. 2 others crushed walls and wills from hundreds of meters away. The 6th built cities in hours where there was once only dirt. And the 7th even the Romans feared to unleash. Such was its power. You'll see how every piece fit into another, creating a machine of victory that lasted centuries. When the dust settles, you'll understand why many kingdoms fought, but Rome won. Are you ready to enter where no enemy ever did? The mind of Roman warfare? Then come, and don't blink. The first cut is already on its way. If this scene gripped you in the first seconds, imagine what's next. You're about to uncover secrets Rome hid for centuries. Weapons so powerful they turned ordinary men into legends and war into science. But before continuing this journey into the heart of the empire, show that you're part of this legion. Leave your like now. It helps spread this story and tells YouTube that Rome still lives among us. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because each new video reveals something history tried to silence. Don't leave the battlefield before victory. The next secret begins in seconds. Short, heavy in the hand, wedge-pointed, the Gladius was made for one thing: piercing, not posing for heroism. In tight formation, behind the scutum, the legionary didn't swing, he thrust. Short, rapid, lethal strikes slipping through armor gaps and shield seams. The blade combined hard edges and a flexible core, absorbing shock without losing its edge. The grip acted as a counterweight. The sheath on the right freed the shield hand. Training, obsessive, wooden dummies until motion became instinct. Variants evolved, Mainz, Pompeii, later the Sparta for cavalry, but the logic remained: kill with method. The Gladius didn't ask for space, it created it. When the Roman line advanced, it was a clockwork rhythm: step, shield push, thrust. And those who tried wide swings died trying. If the Gladius is the heart, what steals the enemy's breath before the blades even touch? 2 meters of menace, but its secret was the soft iron neck. When driven into an enemy shield, the pilum bent, making it useless and heavy as an anchor. Result, the enemy dropped his protection or became a slow, exposed target. Thrown from 15-20 meters, the light ones opened the path. The heavy ones finished it, piercing wood, leather, sometimes flesh. A storm of surrender, thousands of javelins falling like wicked rain, turning shield walls into scrap. And when the clatter of metal on the ground began, Rome knew it was Gladius time. Archaeology confirms it. Iron heads scattered across old killing fields. The pilum taught war a modern principle: use and make return impossible. A weapon that never turns against you. But when the exposed enemy finally rushes forward in desperation, rectangular, convex, 1.20 by 0.75 meters, the scutum covered shoulder, chest, thigh, and still struck back. Layered wood, leather, and metal edges distributed impact. The central boss became a battering ram. With the left hand, the Roman made a wall. With the right, he stabbed through calculated gaps. Painted emblems shouted belonging and intimidation. A red wave of golden thunderbolts. Training included holding extra weight, synchronized pushing, striking legs with the lower edge. As a unit, the scutum wasn't a shield, it was a system. It turned a century into a hydraulic engine of constant pressure. For the enemy, the shock. You're not fighting a man, you're fighting a mechanism. And if the rain comes from above, arrows, stones, fire, Rome closes the roof. Twisted sinew ropes storing fury, rigid arms, rails and locks, the ballista spat bolts that found targets hundreds of meters away. With wind, angle and distance calculations, it could decapitate a command before lines. Even clashed. Portable like the Scorpio or monumental in sieges, it traded rate of fire for surgical precision. A trained crew turned cranks, set projectiles, kept equal tension. One mistake, and the machine betrayed its master. Fire arrows, long darts, carved stones, each shot designed for terror. When banners fell early, so did morale. But if the enemy hid behind thick walls, thinking distance was safety, the catapult didn't persuade, it demolished. Massive torsion bundles under wooden towers hurled blocks weighing dozens of kilos over 300-400 meters. Gates split, merlons collapsed, corridors turned to dust. Some stones had serrated edges to bite masonry, others were hollow and filled with fire. Aiming required tables, graded sights, wind reading, setup demanded platforms, spacing and cover. Supplying them was a war itself, rock caravans feeding a drum of thunder. Defenders soaked hides, built barriers, dug tunnels, often in vain. Ballistae chose men, catapults reshaped maps. And if the field had no walls to break, how did Rome win against night, surprise and fear? At day's end, the legion drew squares in the dust. Ditch, rampart, palisade, within hours a standard fortress of 600 lakhs 400 meters rose for 6,000 men. Crossed streets, a central praetorium named gates, depots, infirmary, stables, workshops. Every century knew where to dig, build, sleep. Tools were part of the weapon, shovel, axe, saw, logistics as invisible blade. The castra ensured food, repair, command and shelter from night attack. In offense, it became artillery base. In defense, a magnet that broke assaults. Many camps became permanent cities. Rome planted stone where it marched. At way, dawn. The gate opened and the machine moved again. But how did they cross the storm of arrows to touch the wall itself? Shields forward, flanks sealed, iron roof overhead. The testudo was born. Short step, single rhythm, 3 km/h of inevitable threat. Arrows ricocheted, stones rolled, oil slid harmlessly over wooden and leather plates. Everything depended on sync. One misplaced shield and death poured in. Small units covered sappers and ladders. Large domes escorted rams. From above, it looked like a black creature without fear. Inside, it was shared breath, vision through slits, progress by touch and command. To enemies on the walls, it was dread incarnate, an organism that would not stop. When the testudo touched the wall, the night was already lost. And when all these parts moved together, sword, javelin, shield, engines, camp, formation, what was born? Rome won because it thought like a blacksmith and a mathematician. It standardized sizes, replicated quality, filled arsenals. Where? Tribes forged one blade at a time. Rome made thousands identical. In legion schools, movement became method. Thrust without wasting air, throw without breaking line, build without exposing gap. Workshops calculated torsion, carpenters shaped scooter curves, armorers tempered blades in precise baths. Everything worked in sync. The pilum opened, the gladius decided, the scutum protected, the ballista silenced leaders, the catapult broke gates, the castra ensured tomorrow, the testudo carried you to the enemy's rust. By the time the world learned from Rome, Rome was already evolving. The lesson? Technology, organization and training outlive empires. But one question remains. What endures after the dust? Without these inventions, Rome would be only a fierce rumor. With them, it wrote centuries. The gladius made closeness a verdict. The pilum turned shields into anchors. The scutum taught that defense can attack. Ballistae and catapults extended the arm of will. The castra gave the army a portable home. The testudo showed that discipline becomes steel. The empire fell, but the principle remained. Those who combine science, production, and training rule the field. Today we've traded sinew for fiber, stone for steel, but the logic is the same. Which of these weapons do you find most revolutionary? Could Rome have won without technical superiority? And what modern technology will echo through history the same way? Share your thoughts below. Let's debate in the comments. If this deep dive intrigued you, strengthen the channel. Your like and subscription keep history alive and bring the next episodes with even greater depth.